anymore. But I don't know how long this fatigue is going to last. I'm not used to that. So that's my main thing I'm dealing with now, trying to recover strength.
The infusion center can treat about 60 patients each day. They hope the treatment will keep people out of the hospital and alleviate the strain many hospitals are seeing right now. They say you should get the infusion within the first 10 days of getting COVID. We have more information on our website, kjrh.com. In Tulsa, Katie Kelleher, 2 News, Oklahoma.
If either of the items on your screen right now look familiar, you'll want to hear this. Tulsa police say they discovered more than a dozen items of sports memorabilia from a car they believe was also stolen. They're asking anyone who's missing their sports collectibles to email burglary@cityoftulsa.org to make sure the items belong to you. You will be asked to identify and describe the items to prove you own the other pieces they recovered. Well, as Tulsa starts to welcome fall, many families are already starting to stock up on an autumn staple, pumpkins. Carmichael's in Bixby is Green Country's oldest pumpkin patch. They'll be hosting their yearly grand opening this Saturday. Owner Don Carmichael says they'll have their usual festivities such as camel rides, a petting zoo, and of course, their famous pumpkins.
It's a tradition more than it is just a pumpkin patch. We want families to come out, bring their cameras, take a lot of pictures, have fun.
Also in Bixby, an up-and-coming pumpkin patch started by pharmacist turned farmer Alan Deek. It's now open for its first year. In addition to selling pumpkins, he says Dr. D's Farm and Ranch will also be offering fall-themed recipe ideas on their social media accounts.
The recipe ideas that I have, I'm not going to try to compete with Grandma's pumpkin pie because you already know how to make that. I'm going to have recipe ideas that are kind of thinking outside the box with how to use pumpkins in your kitchen.
Now let's check in with our chief meteorologist, Mike Collier, for your weekend forecast, just in case your family wants to head out to one of the local pumpkin patches.
Now, your 2 News Oklahoma first forecast, sponsored by Executive Homes.
Luckily, my kids are still young enough, Karen, where they love to go to the pumpkin patch, and that's exciting. Always a fun time of year. Looking at your forecast this evening, expect dry conditions, temperatures in the lower 70s at 7 o'clock and the mid 60s by 10 o'clock. Really a nice evening outside, very beautiful for the first evening of fall here in eastern Oklahoma. What we're tracking for you right now is mostly fair skies and temperatures pleasant right now, upper 70s. And we're going to have a couple of cool mornings ahead of us before the heat builds back in and it comes back with a vengeance, unfortunately. What about rain chances? We need rain. We have some in the extended. I'll tell you more about that with your 10-day forecast in about 11 minutes.
All right, thank you, Michael. September is National Addiction and Recovery Month, and 2 Cares for the Community is raising awareness about addiction and recovery that's available right here in Oklahoma. In this report, sponsored by Valley Hope of Cushing Addiction Treatment and Recovery, meet a woman who did exactly what her doctors prescribed, only to become addicted to pain medicine in just a few short months.
I had a back injury and back surgery.
After falling down some stairs, Tara didn't think twice about taking the pain medicine her doctor prescribed. She'd never had a problem before.
And then after the surgery, my pain level was way worse. And the Percocet I had been prescribed was no longer working. Even increasing the dose was no longer working.
She kept a journal and logged how her doctor prescribed a stronger form of oxycodone. Within just a few months, Tara realized she needed more medicine and the pain kept getting worse.
It was a lie. The drug was lying to me, telling my body, you need more, take more, keep taking this, it'll make you feel better. And in reality, it was not making me feel better. It was making me feel way, way worse.
When she tried repeatedly to wean herself off the medicine, she became desperately ill.
Then the following Monday, it's like, okay, I got to call the doctor. We got to do something. And that's what led me to Valley Hope.
The center in Cushing has been offering addiction treatment and recovery programs since 1974. With a comprehensive treatment plan for each patient, Valley Hope's doctors and nurses helped Tara with medically monitored detox and withdrawal.
It was truly the hardest thing I've ever done. Sorry.
Tara also found insights and hope in the residential inpatient and outpatient programs.
We have therapists, our counselors, our clinical team, master level therapists who work with patients one-on-one, who also work with them in a group therapy setting.
There's family counseling even spiritual guidance.
Each person that comes into this space, we're encountering them in a holy moment. That's what I like to call it. Their story is precious. Their story is valuable. And being able to play a part in who they are and who they're becoming is incredible.
Valley Hope also offers weekly continuing care and planning for sober living. For others who've become addicted to prescription medicine,
Don't be afraid.
Tara says just reach out.
Seek help. Talk to someone. Don't be afraid. It's nothing to be ashamed of. Get the help that you feel you need so you can become the person that you know that you are.
And this January will mark 4 years of success since Tara went to Valley Hope to recover. She's drug-free, says she's back to being herself. For more information, look for this story on our website, kjrh.com. Well, when we come back, we connect with a Tulsa woman who, after moving out of an apartment she lived in for a while, was shocked by surprise bills and move-out fees.
It's not my job to pay you $250 to replace the new stove.
She's not the only one to be caught off guard. And when we come back, we'll hear from her and our 2 News problem solver Pete Knutson on how you can cover all your bases and avoid learning these same lessons the hard way.
It's happening at lunch, it's happening after work hours, it's happening into the night.
I'm 2 News Oklahoma senior reporter Sharon Phillips. Join me tonight as we give you an exclusive look inside the dark world of Tulsa's sex trade and what's being done to rescue the victims.
Well, knowing your rights as a renter can make your next move easier. Yesterday, we showed you the important steps to take when moving into an apartment or other rental property. Now, 2 News Oklahoma problem solver Pete Knutson has what you need to know to keep from paying a lot of extra cash when moving out.
You've lived in your apartment for several months, maybe even several years, and you decide it's time to move out. Find someplace new. But sometimes that can be pricey.
When we move out, we got the charges for moving out fees for $487 something, including replacing the stove.
When they moved in, Corrine says that stove never worked properly, just enough to barely get by. She says they asked management several times for it to be repaired or replaced, but it never happened.
It's their job. It's not my job to pay you $250 to replace the new stove.
But Corrine never asked for the repair or replacement in writing, only verbally. An expensive lesson she learned for her next apartment in case there's ever a dispute with the manager, like this time.
And then she said, you either pay it or we send you to the collection.
Corrine says she's learned several lessons about renting and moving out. First, putting any repair requests and disputes in writing. Also, review your lease. Know how much notice you need to give. Inspect the property and fix any damage the lease says you're responsible for. Normal wear and tear is expected, but usually you'll need to fill in holes and cracks in the walls. If you make repairs and any improvements, keep your receipt in case there's a dispute later. Move all your things out and clean thoroughly. Again, see what the lease says is your responsibility. After that, take pictures and video of the property and arrange a move-out inspection with management. Have another adult with you during the inspection. Then, under Oklahoma law, Eric Hallett with Legal Aid says you must ask for your security deposit back in writing.
And you only have 6 months to do it. If you don't do it within 6 months, or if you don't do it in writing, the landlord gets to keep your deposit. So the number one mistake tenants make is they fail to just request their deposit back in writing.
Corrine didn't get her deposit back. In fact, she was charged that extra $487, which she thought was especially unfair, since she says she did her best to clean the apartment before moving.
I hire my own carpet cleaner come to clean the carpet.
So Corrine, like many renters, quickly learned there's much more to moving out than you might think, and it can end up being expensive if not done properly. You'll find a full list of all the do's and don'ts and your renter's rights on our website, kjrh.com. Pete Knutson, 2 News Oklahoma Problem Solvers.
Now, your 2 News Oklahoma weather, sponsored by Executive Homes.
Well, the cool fall air continues to now shift to the northeast. As next couple of days, the heat from the southwest is going to build back into Oklahoma, and then the nice cool air is going to move away from us, and temperatures are going to soar here in the state of Oklahoma. But let's enjoy the nice weather while we have it. Another cool evening, another pleasant night in store for the area. A little chilly for some. And we can see what we're tracking right now is temperatures upper 70s and some cool mornings ahead for us. But rain chances is something we're going to talk about in this 10-day forecast. Looking at radar right now, all the rain is situated in the northeast. I mean, it feels really cool for the first day of fall with showers in that area. Dry from Tulsa all the way out towards the west coast. Not much going on, not much expected through the weekend as dry weather continues. Dave's Claremont RV Weather Camera Network, fair skies all across eastern Oklahoma. We're looking good on this Wednesday evening. Rain chances, oh man, not good. All the way through Tuesday. It's not until next Wednesday, a week from today, that we even introduce a slight chance for thunderstorms. And really not an overwhelming chance for rain, just a slight chance. And you can see that over the next 7 days. It's not until day 7 that we could see some light rain potentially move into the area as dry weather continues. Up until that time, the drought will worsen before it does get better, and it's going to take some time. We need rainfall. 91 degrees for your Saturday, dry weather. Sunday, mid-90s. So yeah, a hot weekend. Saturday, not as hot as last Saturday, but still toasty. Sunday, yeah, like last Sunday, kind of hot for this time of year under dry conditions and fair skies. Humidity is really low, so that gives us a high static electricity rate, and you can see probably maybe some chapped lips as well as the dry air continues to filter in the area. We did warm to 81 this afternoon and have since dropped down into the upper 70s. We start off the day in the metro in the lower 50s. Bixby in the 40s, Tahlequah in the 40s, much of eastern Oklahoma in the 40s last night. We're going to be in the 40s once again tomorrow morning. 7 a.m. Tulsa temps 51, Bartlesville 49, Pryor 48, Muskogee 48, and south winds slowly begin to return to the area. And that's going to heat things up tomorrow back in the mid-80s. So warmer conditions, but this is normal for this time of year. This is where we should be in the mid-80s. Bartlesville 81, Calster coming in at 81 as well.